All right, let's talk about the Bears. Here's a question I have for you. Simple question. Are you having fun with this year's Bears season?
No. It's satisfying at a level that I didn't think would happen. I was worried they were going to go 0-5 to start the season for a lot of the reasons we're seeing now. It's very satisfying, if even fulfilling. Fun? No, because into the fourth quarter, in the 13 and a half minutes into the fourth quarter, I'm screaming at the television and threatening to fire and bench everybody. So, no. The fun comes later when you look back and you say, okay, they're 7-3. I mean, they've maximized some things. They've done a couple of the things I believe in, having covered sports all my life. Beat the bad teams. Beat the bad teams. Just do that. Take care of that. And I do believe in the adage from coaches. Joe Gibbs is one of them that I covered, who said you win first, you get good later. Mm-hmm. And I think all these things put the Bears in play. Do I worry that they can't win 10 games? Yeah, I do worry. Even though they've won 7, with whatever's left, 6 to play. I worry
7.
about them winning 7 to play. I look at the schedule and I'm like, okay, Pittsburgh is now like nearly a must-win. And certainly Cleveland would be, and probably one of those Packers games.
Yep.
But so fun, I don't know that I'm having fun, but it's very fulfilling what they've done so far.
How do you think we'll know if this is not just a mirage the way it was with Nagy and Mitch in 2018?
When we get further down the road, it's got to play out. People don't want to let things play out. Everybody wants to predict things and declare things. It's got to play out. And we can know some of that this year. If they get in the playoffs and win a game, the bar is not all that high. But get in, whether it's a wild card berth or a division title actually within reach. You get in and you win a game in the playoffs, then that's going further than Nagy. What was the other possibility?
Well, I'm just saying, because when in 18 it was the Nagy-Mitch combo, and we know how that
we
fizzled pretty quickly.
I mean, that team was pretty good too. It really was. So go a step further.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a believer in, prove it.
I'm already more of a believer in Caleb than I ever was in Mitch, though.
Well, I am too, but I'm not that conversation ultimately bores me. Okay, so 4,000 yards and whatever touchdown. Okay, fine. Now, can the team win? I was fine with the team winning with Jim McMahon and however many touchdowns he threw and however many yards he threw for. I'm fine with that. Win. That's why I'm angry at all the Philadelphia idiots who just want to complain about their team's offense. Shut up. You're morons. Your team is winning. If they win defensively, God bless them. They just won a Super Bowl. I don't care if their team wins with offense or if their wide receivers are happy. And if Caleb throws for 3,700 yards and his completion percentage is less than Ben Johnson wants, and they can get to an NFC title game this year, good. That's how I measure it. Not the conversation about how good the quarterback is ultimately bores the hell out of it.
And that's the good thing. You were talking about Philly. And they mentioned this today on ESPN. I think it was on Get Up where they were talking about, look, Jalen Hurts, for all the critics, he only threw for this last game, but they won. They're not scoring a lot. He's had a different offensive coordinator every year. Yeah. Think how hard that is to do to learn a new offense. And they're totally different guys. But so I want to weave it back to Caleb. And maybe this will bore you too. But it's something that you said about the team, and I want to ask you in the realm of the quarterback play. You said you win first, what Joe Gibbs used to say, you win first and you get good later. Mm-hmm. Caleb's winning. Is he good now?
Not good yet. He's getting there, hopefully. He's getting there. Nobody's there. Did you see, did I send you, Silvy, that night, that comparison between Caleb and this number of games as a starter and Troy Aikman and Peyton Manning? And I mean, there have been a few. Ben Roethlisberger is an alien in that way. Dan Marino was too. There are a couple, but that's not the way it goes. That's not the way it goes. I want to see all of them get better. Caleb was not good Sunday. I didn't think Ben Johnson was good Sunday either. But it's okay. They won. And now they get a chance to improve on what happened Sunday and see if they can beat Pittsburgh, which is now a necessary win if you want to really get to the playoffs. And they get to be the team with a better than 500 record. They can stop hearing for a week how they haven't beaten anybody with a record above 500, which is true. So let's see that. I didn't think Ben nor Caleb was any good Sunday relative to what they had done other weeks this year in games they'd won.
And it does feel like they kind of have to bank this one against Pittsburgh if they want to get to that 10. I agree with you there. Do you want Rodgers to play or sit?
I want him to play. And there's other things I want, but I'm probably not going to say them on.
Say them. Say you want the Bears to knock him out like they knocked Favre out, don't you?
I want to see the Bears play like they did in 1985, where there was one game against the Cowboys where they knocked out Danny White. And Steve Pellure had to come in, and they knocked out Steve Pellure. And on the sideline, Tom Landry's trying to convince Danny White to go back in. I was like, no.
I'm not going in there.
I'm not going back against these dudes. I'd like that.
Yeah, like a lot of people are not. I'm with you. I want to see Rodgers. I want to see this again, even though he's dominated us, even though he's better than Mason Rudolph. I still I want to see it. It's not like he's 25. And here's a question that we built off of that. Who has been the bigger pain in the ass to Chicago sports? Is it LeBron James or is it Aaron Rodgers?
It's LeBron James because Aaron Rodgers knocked us out of one playoff game. LeBron knocked us out of two playoff series, including one Eastern Conference Finals.
I think more, Mike, if you consider Cleveland too, like it was twice against Miami. But I think
it was 4 times.
It's been 3 or 4 times.
I think 4 times.
Yeah, it has been the Mother's Day shot.
That's right.
It's LeBron. It's not even close. Aaron Rodgers was a bunch of regular season wins, except the NFC Championship game. Aaron Rodgers did get the better of us then, and we should have knocked him out in the regular season so the Packers didn't have a chance. And that was a game in which did Lovey decide not to play everybody in the second half? Am my memory right on that?
I think that's right because I remember feeling do whatever you can to knock them out. You don't want to see them again, and sure enough, it happened, and it came back to bite them.
Yes. So that's an irritant, don't get me wrong. And I would like to be – Rodgers is a worthy opponent. He's worthy. And so let's go. Come on. Let's lace them up and let's go.
I was telling Carmen about this too, and this goes to your point. Do you know, here are Aaron Rodgers' numbers, and I've retaught this to Chicago listeners over the years too. Like I've always contended Rodgers never truly beat the Bears. The Bears beat the Bears. In that NFC Championship game that the Packers beat the Bears, Aaron Rodgers was 17 of 30, 244 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
2 picks. I remember the defense played really well against him that day.
Remember where Urlacher had that interception and Rodgers tackled him or he could have gone the distance? He was not great in that NFC Championship game. Cuddy got hurt. Todd Collins was awful. And then Caleb Haney couldn't save the day.
Todd Collins.
He came in. Todd Collins came in that game. People forget after Cutler got hurt, he was 0 for 4 for 0 yards.
And he wouldn't go back in. And don't even get me. Don't get me started. I want to see Rodgers Sunday. I want to see him.
Yeah.
I want that to unfold. I'll live with the consequences, whatever they are.
All right. Are you having fun with the Bulls, or Silvy says they're frustrating the hell out of you too?
They are, but in a good way. And Sylvia and I texted about this already. So there's 2 things. There's only one game that I looked at that I was really angry with them, and that was just annoyed. And that was the Spurs game because they seemed afraid. They backed down. And the Chicago team backing down ain't where I live. But other than that, I'm impressed with them. Even the games they lost, look, they're not as good as Cleveland. They're not as good as the Knicks. They split with the Knicks already. They split with Detroit already, which is the best team in the East. They split with those teams. And they go and lose to Utah. Okay, a game that frustrated me some. But then they come back on the second of a back-to-back in altitude in Denver against a team.
Yeah.
The only team I think can beat Oklahoma City is Denver in a series. And they survived. They played through a triple-double night from Joker. They don't have Kobe White because I'm presuming, you guys tell me, I presumed he wasn't going to play.
Well,
back-to-back.
Well, I figured it was just because it was a back-to-back, right? He just got back.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that's the only reason why. And they don't get the kind of performers from Buzelis they're going to have to start to get consistently. And I understand he's still building and growing and developing as a player. He didn't have a great game last night. For one, Ayo is my early candidate for Sixth Man of the Year.
He's really good, Michael. He's really good. And I know how much you love him.
And he's not scared.
Yep.
You know, he's not scared, and that's a big thing.
Yep.
And Giddey was not scared last night either. He was ready to be involved in that game and go toe-for-toe with some pretty good players, guys who have championship rings. So I thought, I didn't think when Denver came out of a timeout with 37 seconds left, and I thought, okay, they're going to win this game. And I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be angry at the Bulls losing in Denver on the second of back-to-backs against a team that could be the championship team again. And they won that game. And good for them. And it's sort of little building blocks like that you hope, you know, that will help them the next time learn how to hold a lead against Cleveland. Learn how to hold a lead against somebody else. But they got Miami coming up, and then they got a bunch of winnable games. The Wizards and Charlotte and New Orleans. And it's like, okay, so do like the Bears, get fat against these homecoming opponents, and then you got to go in there and slug it out against some real good teams. You're going to lose some of those games. They're not ready to win some of those games. I'm not suggesting they should have beaten San Antonio with Wemby. I'm just angry at the way they played. But the other games, every other game I've watched, and I've been like, you know what? This team is good enough to build leads against the best teams in the league. It's a pretty damn good place from where the Bulls have been the last 3 to 4 years.
I don't know when the last time we asked you about this, so I forget how you feel about him. Are you tired of Draymond Green's act?
Yes, I am, but I understand. I've been around the Warriors a lot the last 11 years, a lot. That's been part of my job, is to be around the Warriors. And that means being around Draymond. And Draymond Green, he is such a different guy off the court.
Thoughtful.
Draymond Green literally will come to the studio and sit and talk to you for an hour.
Yeah.
And you couldn't possibly have a more enjoyable, when I say enjoyable, engaging time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like he'll answer every question. He will duck nothing. He will take on all the topics. He will introduce topics. And it's not just an interview. It's a conversation. He wants to know why you believe what you believe about basketball or this team or that. It's just thoroughly engaging. So I am tired of it at times, but I understand it. I know how frustrating Steve Kerr and Steph Curry and formerly, Klay Thompson and Andre Iguodala. But I also have had those guys look me in my face and say, we don't have this without Draymond. And they mean it. They mean it. They're not trading it. They understand that he has to be allowed the room to do what he does, and they benefit from it, from having a sergeant at arms, if you will. Do I get tired of it? Yeah. Do I understand it? Yeah. Do I think the Warriors would be where they are without Draymond Green? No.
Sometimes,
so there's a compromise, there's a reconciliation.
Sometimes it feels like Rodman towards the end, and like the Bulls used to say things the same way, right? Like you relived it in the Last Dance. Like we had to let him kind of do his thing every once in a while, even though it drove us crazy.
They did too. It drove them crazy. Yeah. It did. That's a great analogy. I could never reconcile Dennis personally. There's one Bulls player, I won't name any names, you can guess. I once said to him, "You don't even talk to Rodman." And he said, "Nah, not that often." And then he looked at me and said, "You get paid to talk to him and you don't talk to him." And I just had to go, yeah, that's pretty accurate. I found nothing enjoyable about talking to Dennis.
Yeah.
But I find it thoroughly enjoyable to talk to Draymond.
Yeah, I see what you're saying about that.
And so there's a difference.
Yep.
I'm not saying the bottom line, by the way, isn't the same, because it may be.
Yeah.
The bottom line could be the same with those guys, and that there is a cost, and you happily pay the cost because you know what comes on the good end.
What did you think? I was very disappointed about this because he's been one of my favorite athletes from afar to watch. I've loved Jamar Chase. My kids love Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
What he did this weekend, Michael, like it's one of the lowest forms. We have always talked about it when this comes up. And then he doubles down and he lies. He's out, I didn't do it. Like you know how bad.
That's the most hateable thing about sports now. Nobody wants to just say, you know what? I did this and I screwed up. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Whether it's going for too many fourth downs or spitting on somebody. And the league screwed up. And the league was gutless in a way that the NBA often is now. And that they should have suspended him for 2 games or 3 games. They should have. They didn't have the guts to do it. They lived by a formula. That was, come on. Really? That Roger Goodell, that's all you got? That's your fastball? You saw this. You know what it was. And so, I mean, nobody's willing to take on anything. Nobody has any shame. Not the guilty party and not the governmental body, which is supposed to say, no, you can't do that. So I don't even know who I guess I got to be more upset with Chase. But come on, the league office. That was gutless.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like you want it to stop. You really make a point, and you say,
make it stop.
Yeah, you say
precedent.
Yeah, like look, it doesn't matter. Like this is the lowest form.
Yeah.
Here it's 2 or 3.
We got to bring Judge Mountain Landis back to administer penalties.
Right.
I mean, seriously, is everybody that spineless now that sits in these chairs?
I hope tomorrow, Michael, that he stands in front of his locker. And he takes as many questions and is as honest as possible, and he doesn't shut it down and say, I already answered it, or I'm not talking about it, or read from. I want him to really give a heartfelt apology. Like, I'm hugely disappointed from him in that behavior.
I don't expect that. That would be great if he did what you just suggested. I don't expect it. As a matter of fact, if I got it, I'd be stunned. Because there's no reward. They don't. People who behave in that way, whatever walk of life they're in, there doesn't seem to be the sort of punishment or shame that would elicit what you just said. Where is the perceived punishment that is the leverage to bring about that behavior? There isn't, and there's no shame. People don't have shame. And so I don't know. That's why I'm probably more upset with the league for not flexing a little bit. So you get into a fight, and so somebody appeals something. So they go to the union. So what? Stand up and say,
we don't tolerate it.
We're not having this. We're not tolerating this. And yet, the leagues now just stand for giving somebody a big bear hug on a stage in a suit on draft night. That's pretty much all it is.
It's a good mic drop right there. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Michael, great stuff. We'll talk to you later in the week, okay?
All right, you guys.
See you, Mike.
There's Michael Wilbon. This is freaky, too. It's par for the course, but it's not my phone. Carmen at the last break had a big old apple here during the break, and he was chomping on this apple.
Was that?
You could hear the apple crunching while he was eating it. And sure enough, in the corner, no, I'm not blaming you. In the corner of my screen, take a look here. No one Googled it on this, and I have my email open, and the pop-up advertisement is the perfect snack when you're in a crunch. Sweet Tango apples.
Well, that's creepy.
With a boy eating an apple.
That's
creepy.
This
can't be a coincidence, right?
No.
We didn't talk about apples. I didn't Google apples. Carmen was eating an apple in studio, and it was a loud crunching noise in the background. And what do I have on my screen right now is an ad campaign for an apple around the word crunch.
That's creepy. I mean, it really, that's creepy.
They're really listening to us.
I thought you were going to say you heard me chomping while you were doing your read.
No, I don't care. Waddle eats all the time on the air. It
I
doesn't bother
was
me.
eating an apple.
I couldn't believe it during Wilbon when I looked at this and I saw the advertisement on my screen.
Don't say it. If an advertisement for this pops up next.
So drink it here. Drink some. Drink some.
Well, because it's on video, I guess.
I want to hear loud. I want to hear loud gulping. Gulp. Oh,
that was pretty disgusting. That was pretty gross.
I better hear that.
I'm wet. I'm dirty.
That was pretty gross.
It happened exactly the way I wanted it to happen.
Pretty gross. That was pretty bad. That was bad.
Do it again.
No, I'm not doing it again. That was really bad. That was really bad. You want to get aroused?
Oh, God. All right. Coming up next, our senior advisor for the holiday parody song joins us to weigh in on some of the holiday songs we've received. I'll tell you how you can enter, what you can win, and we'll play you some of the best entries. We had one that we thought is a surefire finalist earlier. And if you want to talk to us, 332-3776.
Waddle and Silvy on Chicago's Home for Sports, ESPN Chicago.